Hello, my super students, and welcome to Master Business English. Today, we're going to learn about the pillar of English. In other words, structure and word formation. But what is it? If you want to think, if you want to speak, if you want to understand, to listen, to write in English, this lesson is for you. Let's see. So what will we learn today? We will learn why this topic is important, how to use it, examples to help you to get the idea better, when to use contractions and when not to use it. And of course, how to use it. So, we have a positive sentence. Subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. And this structure, you must use it in all the English tenses. Present simple, present continuous, future continuous, present perfect, future perfect, in all, absolutely all the tenses. And we have two rules. The first one, you can't omit any component of this structure, or you cannot change the order of any element of this structure. So you must respect the order and never by never omit any element. So again, here in a positive sentence, we have subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. Let's see it, how it works in examples. So we're having a meeting. We is the subject, are is the auxiliary, having is the verb, and a meeting the complement. He will agree with his conditions. Subject he, auxiliary we, agree the verb, and with his conditions the complement. Then we have sold our products. We, the subject, have the auxiliary verb sold, and our products the complement. More. And in negative sentence, it works with the subject, then the auxiliary, then the not, then the verb, and the complement. Let's see how it works with examples. We're not having a meeting. We're not having a meeting. We have we examples. The subject, are the auxiliary, not, having the verb, and a meeting the complement. He will not agree with his conditions. He, the subject, will, the auxiliary, not, agree the verb, and with his conditions the complement. We have not sold our products. We, the subject, have the auxiliary, not, sold the verb, and our products the complement. And what about the question? In the question, we have WH, which are what, which, whose, how many, how long. Those are called WH questions. But we put it between parentheses because in a question, they will not always appear. Okay, so they appear sometimes. Okay, so for that reason, we put it between parentheses or between brackets. But after, we have the auxiliary, the subject, the verb, and the complement, and the question mark. Let's see it with examples. Are we having a meeting? are the auxiliary with the subject having the verb and omitting the complement. Will we agree with his conditions? Will the auxiliary with the subject agree the verb and with his conditions the complement? Where have we sold our products? WH, where, have the auxiliary with the subject, sold the verb, and our products the complement. As you can see here, in the first two questions, we have started with the auxiliaries. But in the last question, we have started with where, a WH question. But immediately after, we have applied the structure of a question. Don't forget, this is very important. But also we have negative questions. And in negative questions, we have two ways or two forms. A, auxiliary not contracted. It is a contraction. The subject, the verb, the complement, and the question mark. Letter B, the auxiliary, the subject, not verb, complement, and question mark. And in this case, we are using the long way. But in the letter A, we're using the auxiliary contracted in negative. Let's see how it works. With the letter A, as I mentioned before, we use the contraction form. So in this case, we have, aren't we having a meeting? Aren't we having a meeting? Aren't is the auxiliary in negative contracted, with the subject having the verb and meeting the complement. In the way B, we have, are we not having a meeting? Here, are is the auxiliary with the subject not having the verb and meeting the complement. In the letter B, we are not contracting the verb, the auxiliary. We are just using the long way. But in the letter A, we contracted the auxiliary with not. Let's see other example. When we agree with his conditions, here we have won't, contracted, will not, the auxiliary contracted, with the subject, agree the verb, with his conditions, the complement. In the long way, we have will we not agree with his conditions. Here we have will, the auxiliary, with the subject, not, agree the verb, with his conditions, the complement, and in all of this, we are just using the negative questions, but using the contracted way of the auxiliary and the long way, no contraction. Review. English structures. Subject, auxiliary, verb, complement in a positive. In a question, WH, sometimes WH goes, sometimes not. Then the auxiliary, the subject, the verb, and the complement, and the question mark, close question mark. Then we have the negative, subject, auxiliary, not, verb, and complement. So when to use them? We always use contractions by speaking. However, we use the long way by speaking when we want to emphasize an idea. Every time we want to emphasize an idea, we use the long way by speaking. But more, when we write formal English, formal written English, we never use contractions. So don't forget these tips, and thank you very much for today's lesson. Like and share it, please. My very pleasure, Coach Grime.